Hey guys, it's Garrett here with Dragger Off-Road. In this video, you'll be watching me install this 1800 watt motor into the Powerwheels, but not without some challenges. Keep watching to see how I overcome these hurdles and get this Powerwheels one step closer to hitting the trails. Hey guys, so I'm gonna start on the trying to get the motor mounted up here, and I'm going to, like I've said plenty of times before, I am going to put the motor right in this spot, right here, right here. And I got the new gear that I was waiting for, right here, the 428 pitch gear. I don't know why it's not focusing. 428 pitch gear, and it will sit. I just gotta get it sit right here, right there, basically right in line with that bolt, right there. And it's gotta be lifted up enough, like it is there, so that it doesn't rub on this right here. So yeah, that's gonna be the next task right there. And then I'm gonna make a battery. I'm hoping to make it a chunk of sheet metal or something. I'm gonna probably cut this brace out of here, put a chunk of sheet metal in right here, and then I'm gonna build a platform out of this angle iron here for the motor. I'm gonna try this just to, so I can adjust the tension of the chain. I'm gonna try and use these sliders in this angle iron. It's actually a bed frame, and I'm gonna try and use these sliders to slide the motor back and forth on it to tighten and loosen the chain. So that should work out pretty good. But I'm gonna build a whole little platform here, because the motor has to sit up here, or the pinion of the motor has to sit right in line with this bolt. So it has to come up quite a ways. So I'm gonna build a brace or a platform off of this side to this side with the angle iron. Cut this all out. Cut this all out. This support, and then this in here, and right in this area, this whole area, I'm gonna put a sheet of sheet metal, chunk of sheet metal in there, tack it all in there, and that'll be the floor. And then I'll probably do the same I'll probably cut, either I'll put more bracing. Actually, I probably should put more bracing in here. Join these two right here. Put some bracing in up just like these ones. Put it all the way through, and then put some sheet metal across here. And then I can put my brake pedal right here, and then my gas pedal over here. And then the battery tray will be sitting right on the sheet metal here. Yeah, we'll see how that works anyways. For right now, that's the plan. I did go ahead and try and make a little bit of a steering column support here. I will be getting the steering column itself tomorrow. U-joint from I went over this on the last video, but U-joint down here to a U-joint up here to out, and put a support here with a couple bearings in it for the steering column. It should come right out the hole for the Jeep for the steering. That should work out pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out a battery for this thing now. There's a lot of information on these batteries, so I'm yeah, trying to figure that out right now. But yeah, I'll do a time lapse here and trying to make this motor mount, and I'll get to her here. We'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, working on the rig today. I'm just working on this motor mount here. I kind of did a lot of it off camera, but this is what we got going on here. This is it's kind of it's not a very good motor mount. It looks like crap, but it's doing the trick for right now. But I am running into a problem here where the chain is hitting right here, like that. So I'm gonna end up notching that out, and then I am going to, I gotta lift this mount up higher, and I gotta move the motor back further to try and avoid the rubbing here, and to try and eliminate as much rub as possible here. So that's gonna be the next move here. Hey guys, just another little update on the Jeep here. Last night I got the motor mount welded in. Got the angle iron notched out like I was saying last night. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So this is welded in right onto the frame right. It's kind of hard to see it right here. Right there, and then right here, right there, and then I'm gonna put a brace in from here to here, there, and then that will help support the end of this. It'll support this for right now, this low torque motor, but once we get a higher torque motor, it's probably going to tear that apart. So we'll have to probably, at that time, readjust. And I imagine it'll be mounting a lot different too. But for now, this is the motor and speed controller we're going to work with. And then I'm going to make another bracket here for the speed controller. Right here. And it's going to sit right next to the motor mount here. Oh, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. It's going to sit right there. So there'll be a chunk of angle iron off of here. Off the side of the motor mount to here. This is going to be longer, obviously. And that's where that's going to sit for now. And then I got another master link for the chain today, so I can extend the chain a little bit longer. hook that up. And then once that's all done, I still got to order the battery. Still trying to get the right information to figure out a proper battery for the system, but it's gonna be, the batteries are more expensive than the motor and the speed controller and everything. I'll do another time lapse today building the mount for the speed controller, and then I don't think I'm gonna do any wiring today because I still have to mess around with the body here. Right here on the body, I think I'm gonna, I don't know, I haven't got real plans yet, but I want to take these off, get them 3D printed black and plain without all these things, these knobs and this on here, and then I can start putting all my my things in for the engine and stuff, my battery percentage and my speed selector, that, and battery charger. What else do we got? I think that's it for now. But yeah, I'll put that into the dash, and that'll be easy enough to change up too when we do eventually change the motors out and go for something a little bit more faster. But yeah, I'll do another time lapse here and we'll get to her. Got a little bit of an update. Got the speed controller mounted in. Right there. Right there. Just got it on some plate right here underneath. Mounted to this chunk of angle iron. And then welded on the back. And then I just threaded some holes right here. Put some bolts in it. Threaded some holes in the plate. And yeah, that's mounted there now. Tacked it on 4 corners. Now we're running into an issue with the angle iron here. I'll put you guys down for a second. So this is the issue we're having here. I'm gonna flip you guys around here. So this is the issue we're having right here. This chain is hitting right there on the angle iron. The angle iron for the motor mount. So I'm gonna cut all this out, this chunk of angle iron, all that out, and I'm gonna weld it on the opposite direction. This way and across. And that'll give me, I moved the motor all the way to the front, all the way up this way, that way, on the motor mount right here. Right here, I moved it all the way to the front of it, the motor mount, instead of all the way to the back. And that'll keep the chain right here, it'll keep it up higher, away from it if I weld it this way. So that should avoid it. I might have to notch a little bit out of it right at the top and the edge. Maybe not even the edge here, but it'll probably on the top a little bit. And that should fix our issue here. So I'll have to cut this all out, cut it right off the motor mount, and then weld it on the other way and weld it back onto here, onto the frame. And then that's done. And then I'm gonna, for another brace, I'm gonna put another brace from here to here. So from there to there. That's gonna be the part of the next project here, part of this project anyways. And yeah, then the chain will be done, the motor will be mounted, the speed controller will be mounted. Then all that's left is to get a battery and figure out where we're gonna put the battery for that anyways. And then we still got the steering and the brakes left to do, and the body, attaching the body together. I got the plastic panels for the body that I got to mold yet. And then yeah, that'll be it for that. It's gonna be a 5-part, 6-part including the test drive, but it may even be longer if the test drive doesn't go very well. I guess we'll have to see, I guess. But that's the update for now. And hello everybody. So we got a situation here, and the gear ratios are way off for the motor. In order to run the ratios that I have, which is 373 to 1, I would have to run a 5 to 8 kilowatt motor, which would be thousands of dollars. And in order to keep the motor and controller that I got, I have to put a jack shaft in now. So I'm putting a jack shaft in, and I'm going from the 11 tooth sprocket I have on the motor to a 18 tooth sprocket on the jack shaft on the input. On the output, I am going to a 10 tooth sprocket to the 41 tooth sprocket I have on the axle. So that should bring my total ratio to, I believe it's 693 to 1. Which is close. There's where I'm aiming for 7 to 1. So, yeah, that's the plan as of right now. And I'll give you kind of an explanation on what I kind of got planned here. So this is what it's going to look like here. So the motor, before, it faced this way to the rear sprocket on the axle, but the ratio is way too tall. So now we're turning this around like this, and we're going to put it in from this 11 tooth sprocket to this 18 tooth sprocket on the jack shaft, put the bearings in. Then we're going to go to a 10 tooth sprocket right here, and then down to the axle. So that's the idea here. And these are going to be mounted. Oh, trying to keep all this together is impossible right now. So these bearings are going to be mounted. I'm going to make a bracket from the angle iron down here on the motor mount up to the frame here, and that's going to sit like that. And I'm going to put all thread on it, a chunk of all thread I got right here to mount these, so I can adjust where I want this bearing, or where I want this sprocket to sit, so I can get the right. So I'm probably gonna still have to adjust this because the chain is probably still gonna run through here. So we'll see once I get this all done where the chain's gonna sit. And I probably still have to cut this out and flip this around like I was talking before in the last video. But we're gonna see, I'll see what I can come up with here when I get all this set up with this all thread. It'll be easy with this all thread because I'll be able to adjust where these bearings sit, how far away from here they'll sit out this way. So I can adjust the tension on the chain as well. And yeah, so right now I'm going to make these brackets right here with the chunks of all thread on them. And then I'm going to extend this motor mount out probably to here at least to try and accompany that motor to sticking farther out. And I'm gonna have to put another bracket in here yet, from here to here. Support that a little bit better. And then this still has to be welded out, but I got that bracket there with the controller still sitting there. As of right now, that controller is still gonna stay there, but we'll see once I get this together what it looks like. And that'll be the update for now. Hello everybody, just got an update here. I got the jackshaft all mocked up here, and then got the motor pushed back a bit, made sure that the controller still fits where it needs to, and I got the brackets just tacked in for now because I just got everything mocked up. Had to cut one out and re-weld it, move it a little bit so I could get the sprockets to line up properly with the motor. But now I got this all sitting where it kind of needs to be. And then I gotta weld these brackets, gotta weld the brackets in and weld the gears to the, and then I gotta put the keyways in, tighten, probably put some thread lock on these set screws, tighten those set screws up. Then I'm going to weld that, put the set screws in. Then I gotta extend the motor mount is the next step. But I'll flip this around so I can show you what I'm explaining. So this is what it's kind of looking like right now. So for the electric motor, 11 tooth sprocket to the 18 tooth sprocket, over to the 10 tooth sprocket, down to the 41 tooth sprocket is what it is. So all I did is use a 5/8 keyed shaft, and then 2 pillow bearings, and then I just mounted them on some all thread with some washers on the other side, and I used nylock on the rears and then nylock on the front. I can only find 3 in my bin, so I gotta go buy another one of these. So I'll get another one of those, and then yeah, I'm just running short chain from here to here. Still gonna have to cut out that notched out angle iron that I did right there on the edge side of the motor mount here. This all has to come out and be flipped around facing the other way. Yeah, that's gonna be that, and then I'm gonna have to make a I'm gonna make a little cover for this so I don't get my clothes tangled into these sprockets and chain and the motor here. So make a little thing that comes over and then comes down probably right in front of these. Probably have to make it a little angle so I can still put my feet over it. But it's getting pretty tight there for room. But yeah, I'm gonna just move this, possibly move this motor up closer to here so I don't have to extend this motor mount as much. And yeah, that's about it for that. And then, but that'll be down the road, I guess, because I'm just gonna try and get this thing moving for now. I just gotta do this, get this done, and do the steering, then the brakes, which I got a caliper for, and I got a reservoir and a brake booster for that. And that's gonna be a foot brake on this side. I still have to put some more supports in here yet. Just trying to focus on getting this done first, and then we'll move on to the next stuff. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit here. And
trying at the same shit. Kinda tired, tryna give a fuck. Saving grace has never hit the same end.
hello, boys and girls. We got an update here. We had a busy day. So it's about 11:30, New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's to everybody. But I just finished this jackshaft, mounting and everything. Got the chain all set up. Finished up some welding while I had the swing arm off the back. And then when I had it upside down, I finished up some welding underneath there too. So I got everything pretty well welded up on here for this jack shaft, the motor, the controllers all mounted. Here, I'll turn the camera around here. Got everything mounted up here. Got the 5/8 shaft, the 2 pillow block bearings, the all thread I welded onto a bracket back here. Right here. And put one there, one at the bottom, on this one too. There, just so I could adjust how far in and out they are. And get everything straightened out with the motor and the axle, and make sure all these sprockets are all running straight. I'm gonna probably hack some of this off here too. I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer, I think, but I'll probably hack a little bit more of that off. But yeah, so everything's mounted here for the motor wise. But yeah, that's the update for now. And now that this is done, I'm gonna be getting a battery to put right here, and then I'll be working on steering. That's gonna be the next battle here, steering. So yeah, I've gone through the steering quite a few times on what my plan is, so I'm not gonna go over that again. But yeah, Happy New Year's, everybody, from me and Drew at Jagger.